Hello, I'm Askar Sharliyev and you're watching the news from Kazakhstan. Another dam on the reservoir Akiyeshke with a total volume of 2.5 million cubic meters of water broke in the Almaty region. Luckily, no casualties were reported, but more than 300 local residents were still evacuated from the area. Currently, the access to the Mulanin ring is blocked by the water flow. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Karim Masimov, who visited the emergency area, requested officials to organize watches at reservoirs during the period of spring floods. Until the end of thaw, special personnel with transmitters will be on duty in potentially dangerous areas of the country. Omirzak Shukeyev, the Deputy Prime Minister, will be in charge of the operation supervision. The survivors of the Kazilagash flood are returning to their village. Most of them, however, have nowhere to live, as 90% of all houses were destroyed. The local school has become a temporary shelter for the people.
The mud flow destroyed half of Almagula Uspai's house and killed 80 heads of cattle. The clothes on the tree are all that was left, while the carcasses of animals had to be taken to a nearby borrow pit outside the village. Almagul does not know yet the final scale of the damage. All my cattle died and I don't know how we will live. Officials promised to help us, but we do not know when this help will arrive. If my neighbors did not warn me, I don't know where I would be now. For teacher Anara Kandarbaeva, history classroom is now the second home. Yet again, neighbors' warning saved the life of her family on the fateful day, as they managed to leave at 11 p.m., just a few hours before their house was destroyed by the flood. The teachers say that neither officials nor rescuers warned them about the emergency. Even the classes were not cancelled on the day of the tragedy. Luckily, the disaster struck at night. Imagine if it happened during the day. Many children could have died. The Disaster Medicine Center still receives the flood victims every day. People come with wounds and scratches, but mainly with hypothermia.
The population in the natural disaster area is still under the threat of the emergency's after effects, so anything might happen.
Still stressed, Anara Kandarbaeva returned to Kazilagash. The teacher does not believe that the emergency minister estimates of 37 dead in 5 days. Every large family here lost up to 8 members. The flow was so extreme that bodies are still being found as far as 20 kilometers away from Kazilagash.
The situation is quite the opposite in the village of Fabrichny in the Almaty region. There, local residents are leaving their homes. According to them, the administrator of the Karagalin rural district, together with the police, has personally warned all the families of possible floods. The area administrator calls the situation the action of vigilance, which is indirectly confirmed by the workers of the water intake located 3 kilometers from the settlement. According to the unconfirmed reports, the water level at the local dam has reached extreme levels. The fears of local residents are linked with the water flow from the Pravaya Shell gorge. In addition, several villages say the road to the lake above the dam has been washed away already. If everything will be blocked by dirt and trash, the dam is unlikely to help. The water flow is too quick.
The
director of the production branch of Ozenmunaygaz, Bagitkali Bisekenov, was dismissed from his position due to the major strike in Zhanaozen. However, the demands of 10,000 oil field workers are still ignored by the leadership of Kazmunaygaz. It has been over 2 weeks since the beginning of the strike, but the cabinet's reaction is still unknown.
The resignation of Ozenmunaygaz industrial branch director Bagitkali Bisekenov did not change the disposition of Zhanaozen oilfield workers, who have been protesting for already 16 days. Now they even consider sabotage, as they demanded to remove the leadership of the main office of exploration and production Kazmunaygaz, and not the branch head. The rest of the demands were not fulfilled as well, including the raise of salaries, improvement of working conditions, and most importantly, the nationalization of the enterprise. We're all middle class here, we have credits to pay, but they use us and frequently deceive us. We will not give up easily this time. The Labor and Social Security Minister looks the situation with obvious caution. Minister Golchara Abdukalikova claims everything is under control, and there are no violations of labor laws in Zhanaozen. The situation is particularly complex in the issues addressed to Kazmunaygaz, where everything is done in accordance with the law. However, certain moments should have been handled more flexibly. The updated cabinet does not discuss the strike in Zhanaozen just yet. After the recent meeting, the new Minister of Oil and Gas, Sauat Munbayev, tried to escape reporters.
What about Zhanaozen or Kazmunaygaz? Talk to Kabuldin, who is there today.
Protesters are not aware that Kayrkeldi Kabuldin, the head of Kazmunaygas, which own Kim Jig Exploration and Production, is actually in the town. Workers say that they will enter negotiations with the company's leadership only after all of their demands will be fulfilled.
Another rally was held on Tuesday in Ust-Kamenogorsk. Pensioners, NGO representatives and activists of the movement Narodovlastia protested against the local energy supply company. The people also demanded a fair investigation in respect of Mukhtar Jakishev and collected signatures in his support.
We regularly pay our electricity bills, yet still end up experiencing rolling blackouts.
The gathered protested against the energy tariffs rise and rolling electricity blackouts of the company Shigas-Energotrade. The power is being cut in the region's cities and villages almost every day for several hours. In addition to expressing their outrage towards the company's actions, citizens collected 500 signatures in support of Mukhtar Jakishev. Activists do not agree with the court's decision to the former head of Kazatomprom and brought their signatures to the governor.
The situation in the city and in the region is very tense. This lawlessness needs to be changed, and the voice of people of Kazakhstan will not only be heard, but certain actions will be taken.
Banker Mukhtar Ablazov has openly addressed Mukhtar Jakishev and Talgat Kastaubayev. In his message, Ablazov called the verdict against the former head of Kazatomprom and his bodyguard politically motivated, illegal, unjust and unfair. Last Friday, Jakishev was sentenced to 14 and Kastaubayev to 5 years of imprisonment. The reason why you were illegally, unjustly, dishonestly and meanly convicted, while the president's son-in-law Kulibayev and his partners in crime are continuing to enjoy their lives, is one and the same: the authoritarian political regime. Mukhtar and Talgat, we will fight for you, for your freedom and for our future. Stand firm. Another appeal of Mukhtar Ablazov is addressed to the authorities of Kazakhstan. In his new statement, he talks about the financial machinations of Timur Kulibayev to the detriment of the country. The letter says the president's son-in-law co-owned a share in a major oil and gas company, Nelson Resources Limited. After its sale and avoiding tax laws, Kulibayev made $600 million. Many of these deals were registered as being done by a citizen of India, Arvind Tiku. This is how Timur Kulibayev obtained $600 million which were transferred to the offshore accounts of companies under Kulibayev's control, but were registered as Tiku's, who is a figurehead. Tiku is an authorized representative of Kulibayev for the last 10 years. Nominally, a number of major foreign assets owned by Timur Kulibayev, his spouse Dinara Kulibayeva and other members of the organized crime group were registered as Tiku's. In many cases, Tiku is presented as the only beneficiary owner of said assets.